Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about Squidward's School for Grown-Ups and Oral Report. First, I'm going to talk about Squidward's School for Grown-Ups. Enjoy! The episode starts off as SpongeBob and Patrick walk to each other and then they start to play a game called Boat Screaming. The idea of their game is to holler at the vehicles that pass by, which angers Squidward and some of the people in the vehicles. Suddenly, Patrick falls asleep, where he is revealed to have suddenly grown a beard when he awakens. When Squidward passes by and notices the beard, he offers to teach Patrick everything he knows about how to be mature, much to SpongeBob's dismay. He decides to follow them, promising he will learn how to be mature as well, but Squidward doubts it. The three go into Squidward's house for a grown-up makeover. SpongeBob shows off his new look, which is more childish and cartoony than Squidward intended, and Patrick likes his look until Squidward reminds him that he really should not. They then go to a men's club, where SpongeBob does an immature dance routine while waiting in line. Inside, Patrick and Squidward order some tetrazzini while SpongeBob orders the milk and cookies. Patrick wants the cookies as well, but Squidward tells him not to because they're not grown-up food. Then, they go to the art museum and SpongeBob follows them around and Patrick and Squidward tell the security to kick him out and he first put him out softly, but he does not leave, so he ends up kicking him. SpongeBob sees Squidward and Patrick walking and Squidward mentions that the beard was the best thing that ever happened to Patrick other than himself. Thinking Patrick is captured by Squidward and brainwashed as his apprentice, sidekick and pawn, SpongeBob realizes that the only way to snap Patrick out of his brainwashing state is to rescue him from Squidward and restore his friendship. He tries to remove his beard, but Squidward stops him, calling him out for having learned nothing about being mature unlike Patrick, and says that they are through with him. Not wanting Patrick to leave him, SpongeBob comes up with a plan to snap Patrick out of his brainwashing state and get his friend back. Then, Squidward and Patrick go to the opera house. SpongeBob disguises himself as an Lady Viking opera performer as his plan to rescue Patrick from Squidward's control, so Patrick and Squidward could see a lady, which is really SpongeBob, singing opera, which Patrick says, she's beautiful. After SpongeBob sings an heartfelt opera to win Patrick back, Patrick begins to cry from the song. As Patrick's tears drip on his beard, the beard turned out to be a sea urchin in hibernation. The sea urchin wakes up from Patrick's tears, rips itself from his face, and runs away, regretting choosing Patrick's face as a hibernating spot. Patrick tries to get it back still believing that the sea urchin is a beard, until SpongeBob explains that it was a sea urchin the whole time. Patrick asks how the singer knows his name, and SpongeBob reveals himself and they reconcile while the audience cheers for them. Squidward suddenly walks on stage interrupting the cheering, and angrily tells the guests that the show is horrible, but they throw food at him in response with Squidward regretting what he said. SpongeBob and Patrick join in throwing food at the guests believing that it was a food fight as the episode ends. Next, I'm going to talk about Oral Report. Enjoy! At the Krusty Krab, the customers are very hungry. Squidward asks SpongeBob why the orders are not ready yet. SpongeBob explains that he is practicing for an oral report that he must do for boating school. Squidward says that public speaking causes stress, but then SpongeBob explains how he is good at public speaking. SpongeBob then walks out, ready to give the customers their orders, and gets scared because they are acting zombie-like. SpongeBob then realizes that he has stage fright. The customers start fighting for the single order as Squidward is beaten up after trying to give a customer his order, which makes SpongeBob even more frightened. It then cuts to Patrick's rock. Patrick opens it, only to realize he has the wrong rock, but SpongeBob pulls him in. SpongeBob asks Patrick to help him practice by listening to his speech. SpongeBob has to practice if he wants to pass, then he has to give the report. SpongeBob begins to become very nervous, and Patrick decides that SpongeBob should see Sandy for help. Sandy deduces SpongeBob has a severe case of oral reportitis, which is caused by stress of someone too nervous to present an oral report before a crowd, and is known to cause some victims to literally explode. To help him out, Sandy gives SpongeBob a pair of underwear with goggles on it, so SpongeBob can see people in their underwear so he will not feel nervous. The next day, SpongeBob is next to do his oral report and then he gets nervous for a prolonged time. SpongeBob asks Patrick for the goggles, and he gives SpongeBob the goggles while accidentally breaking them in the process while trying to polish them. Billy tells him to hurry up, and SpongeBob sees him in his underwear. He is relieved. Then he sees the whole class in their underwear. SpongeBob begins laughing and Mrs. Puff asks him why. SpongeBob sees Mrs. Puff's underwear and starts laughing even harder. SpongeBob begins reading his report, but the goggles malfunction, causing it to give him the sight of everybody's underwear having scary faces. SpongeBob screams and runs away. He drives Mrs. Puff's boat, and Patrick and Mrs. Puff chase him. The police notice that SpongeBob ran a stoplight and chase after him. SpongeBob then crashes through various buildings. The police question if he knows about boating safety, and SpongeBob goes through a long explanation of boating safety. The police start crying and say it is beautiful. Mrs. Puff says that SpongeBob will have to go to jail and she will not have to teach him anymore. However, the police arrests Mrs. Puff instead because under Penal Code 26-1, SpongeBob's delinquent actions is under Mrs. Puff's care because he's a minor and she is his boating teacher, much to her dismay. After this, Patrick is happy that SpongeBob conquered his fear, and puts on the underwear glasses. He notices that SpongeBob's underwear starts talking angrily to him, so he runs away, ending the episode. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.